the anti-tracker.
We will return to your scheduled programming shortly, or we are currently experiencing technical difficulty.
What is going on? Michael J. Crawford here, the anti-tracker. Man, oh man. Eventful day, but not the worst day ever. Mead is live right now. Yeah, they typically stream on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm kind of their backup guy. If they did reach out to me, I didn't see. Yeah, it doesn't look like they reached out to me today, so they didn't need me on there today. But hopefully I'll be on there on Wednesday. I always enjoy hanging out with them. Although on Friday it went so long that I think that it's okay that I'm not there right now. So Thomas was first. Commander Sutter says first, but was really second, and then says crap. Josh Street says first, none, Thomas. Sorry, Josh. Resolute says hello. How you doing, Resolute? Chris Cook says fourth or third when you're actually 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth. Multi-Gunman says, hi, Trucker, how's it going? I'm hanging in there, my friend. Mr. Londell says, I'm about fourth. Actually, you'd be around seventh. Valor says, hi, everyone. How you doing? Hanging in there. Epic Beard says, hey to the nerds. Josh Street says, hey, Trucker, do you know how 7 times 13 equals 28? Somehow, I think that you're going to point out something I did wrong where I might have said 7 times 13 was 28. I don't know. Meanwhile, Thomas says, BIRDOPREY decides Emmy winners. That would explain it. And Sutter gets to pick. All right, Sutter, Commander, you get to pick a super chat. So don't let him down. Commander Shran says, hello. BIRDOPREY says, kapla. And Thomas says, Sutter, I meant pick super chat. Yeah, I figured that's what you meant. And speaking of what, Sutter says, great video today. Look forward to see all 1,975 part review of Dark Phoenix. It's not going to quite be that long. It'll probably be in the neighborhood, when all is said and done, of probably around 10 parts, because I'm not going to cram it all into 4 parts just to make it short, because that was a stipulation of Captain Redneck. But this one, I'm going to take a little bit of time and really digest it. As you could see, the sad thing is, since you saw the first part, the movie, in my opinion, started out actually pretty darn strong. I didn't like the change in having Jean kill her parents. However, the little girl that played young Jean did great, and James McAvoy as Professor X in the 70s, I think, was really good. Everything was lining up to be a great film. And then the credits roll, and then it just goes to complete crap. And you think the X phone was bad, there's plenty more coming. Valor says, how's BIRDOPREY? Multi-Gunman says, BIRDOPREY, hi, Bird, how's it going? Sorry, I missed your live stream. Hey, Multi-Gunman, I'm over here, okay? It's not my fault that BIRDOPREY is, inconvenient to you. Thomas, how was your hunting trip to Kuroga yesterday? Thomas had a very fruitful hunting trip to Kuroga. We actually have set up, several surprises for Kuroga. Mike Richards says, greetings from Columbus, Ohio. How are you doing, Mike? Commander Shran says, meet is live right now, which I already read. Commander Sutter says, thanks to Thomas and wants number 23. You got it, my friend. The best of the best. An absolute classic. Now, here's a funny thing, and I know this means nothing to any of you, but I didn't realize for some reason YouTube is doing the automatic subtitles on my live stream feed, and so some of the stuff I said, obviously they couldn't quite figure out, and so it's kind of funny because you think about what the subtitles read is actually what the algorithm sees. So it says, absolute classic doubt. Here's a funny means nothing to any of you, but I didn't realize for some reason YouTube is doing the automatic subtitles on my live stream feed, and some of the stuff, obviously, they couldn't quite figure out. Anyway, that's weird reading my own subtitles. That's just bizarre. All right, let's see. Thomas says that the hunt was boring because the coward wouldn't come near me. Of course not. He's Kurogan. Well, I shouldn't say that there are some good Kurogans. He's Bird. Valor says, hi, Entriker. How you feeling? I'm hanging in there, Valor. Sore as all hell, but I got to say optimistic because just a couple more weeks till that surgery, man. I am so looking. I've never been looking forward to a surgery, but I'm looking forward to this surgery. And the Emmy for the most stolen scenes in a sci-fi series goes to Star Trek Discovery. Yeah, I think Star Trek Discovery got a Emmy award for prosthetic makeup, which is funny because how many shows actually use prosthetic makeup? Not really all that many. So there wasn't a whole lot of competition, and I will give credit where credit's due. The makeup artists and stuff are not the problem on Discovery. They did a great job. And the let's see, Sci-Fi Sith is in the house. Says hello there. How you doing? DJ says howdy y'all. How you doing, DJ? I hope that the great pink bunny is hanging in there. And so then Josh says it's an Abbott and Costello skit. The 7 times 13 equals 28 is from an Abbott and Costello sketch. I don't know. I don't remember it. I mean, I loved Abbott and Costello back in the day, but I can't remember that one. And so, Josh, you got to fill me in. What's the joke? Sci-Fi Sith is saying hi now to BIRDOPREY. Luke Fauvark is up uncharacteristically late, especially for a Frenchman, and says, hello there. No, it says, hail, hail. How you doing, Luke? DJ says hi to Sci-Fi Sith. Chronos says, first. Darth Kilhoun says, ha, anti-trekker. I assume you meant hi. Sci-Fi says, hello there to our favorite Frenchman. Yes, Mr. Miles, you are the first from planet Wrenchby to land on Earth. And because Mr. Miles says first, which I missed for some reason, Mr. Miles says, change the top chat to live chat. Thank you. I'm doing that right now, Mr. Miles, which, of course, is going to completely screw up everything. Let me try and find where I was. There he goes. And then Mr. Miles says, do it. Life with Matthew says, hello from the road. How's work life been? Well, you know, that part sucks, I will tell you. Fortunately, I have not had to deal with the main stressor as of yet, which is taking phone calls, because, well, let's be real, I've been out for a couple of months, and so there's a lot of stuff that I have to catch up on. Chrono says, what's going on? Not a whole lot, except that Kuroga is, of course, made up of they're a cowardly, superstitious lot. The symbol of a bat would drive them to fear. Valor says, what is your view of Disney's rumored plan to race swap Xavier and Magneto? If they do, I think it's a mistake. And unless they have a compelling reason to do it, I will probably, if they do it why, you know what? You cast the best person for the job, right? I'm fine with that. When they cast Ving Rhames, or not Ving, was it Ving Rhames or was it, no, I always get, Mrs. Nighttricker is going to kill me if she's watching this right now because they're, these two actors, I always get confused. And she's like, they don't look anything alike. Why do you get them confused? I don't know. But I've had this problem forever. And she just said, oh, it's just because you're a racist and they're black. Let me look it up. Oh, come on. The heck? Is Google having problems? There we go.
Hello.
Right. And Alexander is in the house. Says, immigration documents are here. I'll sign that. Awesome, my friend. Awesome. I am very, very glad to hear that. All right, and so there we go. So from 2003, I know I'm like going on forever trying to find this stupid piece of information that is really not all that important, but at the same time, I want to kind of get into where I'm feeling about the whole Professor X thing. Michael Clark Duncan. Man, why do I get him confused with Ving Rhames? They really don't look that much alike. They're just both big guys, frequently shaved heads. But anyway, other than that, they don't look a thing alike. But anyway, so Michael Clark Duncan played Kingpin in the 2003 Daredevil film. Now, let me make this perfectly clear. I don't think that Daredevil was the greatest superhero film ever made, but I also don't think that it was the complete garbage pile that a lot of people do. I actually enjoyed it, especially the director's cut, which is actually pretty good. But when they did the race switch for Kingpin, they made him into a black man because Michael Clark Duncan is obviously black. Did I have a problem with that? Not the slightest bit. Why? Because they were trying to cast someone that could literally fill the shoes of Kingpin, and Michael Clark Duncan was perfect for that. He's the right size. He's got the right powerful presence, not just with his physique, but with his voice. He was the right choice, bar none. But did they, and I don't know because I wasn't working, for, what was it, Fox or whoever at the time, but did they actually intentionally go out looking to make Kingpin black? I highly doubt it because Kingpin is a villain. If anything, if they were going to race swap somebody, they would probably race swap either Foggy or Matt Murdock. So I think that they simply cast him because they were like, holy crap, this dude looks like Wilson Fisk, except with a tan. And I had no problem with that whatsoever. That being said, I have a problem with the idea of intentionally race swapping a character. In other words, you're doing it just for political reasons. You're not doing it to serve the story. You're not doing it to cast the best possible person for the role. You're doing it simply to make some kind of political point. And really, it doesn't even do anything except to earn you brownie points with your fellow Hollywood freaks that seem to think that that's more important than telling a decent story. So, yeah, screw them, Valor. If they want to race swap Xavier and Magneto, I say, screw you, you don't know what you're doing. However, that being said, if they find the perfect actor to play Charles Xavier who is not white, I don't care. If it's the perfect person for the role, as Michael Clark Duncan was for Kingpin. All right, that was an incredibly long diatribe. I apologize. So, Nightbreeze says, howdy, Anti-Checker and all. Hey, I'm just reading the ones with my name in it for right now until, I get caught up. Thomas wants to know, are you about to tell secrets? No, Thomas. And in fact, I know you had to go to work, Thomas, but I wish you could have stuck around for our test of the latest Bird-of-Prey surprise that we made. Yeah, it was freaking awesome. And by the way, if you would like the recipe for set, here's the state secrets. Here you go, Bird. You want to see what we have waiting for you? I will show you right now. Here it is. That is waiting for you. If you can figure out what that is, you're a smart man. So 1,000 steel plates, 1,000 construction components, 1,000 motors, 160 metal grids, 200 large steel tubes, 250 computers, 200 small steel tubes, 50 superconductors, 25 power cells, 20 interior plates, 5 displays, and 100 reactor components. And then some uranium. So, if you know what that is, Bird, let me know. And if you're right, I will surrender to you right now. Well, except that, unless you've already seen it, in which case, screw you. The multi-gunman says, Anti-Checker, Bird's mountain crashing is inconvenient to everyone. No, it's not. It's quite entertaining for most people. Sci-Fi Sith says, Mr. Miles still working on it for slave wages with Anti-Checker. Of course he is, and Mr. Miles says, of course. However, I will tell you, yeah, tomorrow's video is a Mr. Miles video, and it is off the chain awesome, I will tell you. It's a long video. I think it's over 30 minutes long, but holy crap, is it well done. Thank you, Mr. Miles. And I just realized, thank you, yeah, I have the Dark Phoenix on screen because I hit the wrong button. But yeah, tomorrow's video is going to be freaking insanely cool. And some peeps can be female parts. Wow, don't know what that means. Luke says, Andrew, I think we should talk less about evil North Karoga and raise awareness about how good South Karoga is. Well, that's interesting, Luke. See, the problem is that so little information comes out of Karoga that there very little is really known about South Karoga. So maybe you could fill us in. Nightbreeze says, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, click notifications, share, tell your friends, and donate to the Hypnoturd. Absolutely, my friend, and thank you. I truly, truly appreciate it. Hector says, technical Emmy, but they won a Saturn Award for Best Streaming Series over The Expanse. Yes. Yes. I just read that like 5 minutes before I started the stream. When I saw that Star Trek Discovery beat out The Expanse for Best Streaming Series, I wanted to punch someone in the face. I could not believe that some idiot thinks that the schlock that we see on Star... I mean, first of all, as far as visual effects, technical stuff, I would say they're on par with each other, right? They both have great visual effects, and all that. If you want to count political stuff as actually cool, I would still put them on relatively equal footing. But the writing, it's not even close. The Expanse has subtlety. The Expanse has intrigue. The Expanse has dynamic characters of not only all walks of life, but walks of life that truly don't exist today. One thing about sci-fi, one thing that makes sci-fi great is when you can show something that has never been seen. And we've never seen an entire race of human beings who have changed over generations because they've lived in low gravity. But we've seen that on The Expanse. But apparently that's not as important as having a gay Spore Network guy. Yep. Chrono says it's too late to be French. Okay. Vio says, loved Abbott and Costello back in the day because he saw them live 4 times. Shut up. I hate you. Josh Street says, Bird doesn't get 7 times 13 equals 28. Well, neither do I, Josh. You got to explain it to me. Luke says, you look better today. I guess painkillers have arrived. I'm trying to conserve them as much as I can because they only gave me a few days worth, but yes. Chrono says, hit the like button. Also switch to live chat. Thank you, my friend. And let's see. DJ says, preparing for fall picking time. Well, then I disappear for a couple months. Oh, very cool. You do a lot of oh, that's right. You work on a farm, don't you? Or do you live on, you own a farm? Something like that. Very cool.
Hello, world.
And Nightbreeze donated $1. Thank you so much, Nightbreeze. I truly appreciate it. And of course, all hail the Hypnoturd. You must love the Hypnoturd. The Hypnoturd is love. The Hypnoturd knows you because the Hypnoturd is inside your brain. You cannot escape the Hypnoturd. You cannot run from the Hypnoturd. You must give all to the Hypnoturd. There you go, my friend. And Kronos wants to know, why is DJ here? Good question. There's Alexander's 2 fake Canadian dollars. Says immigration documents are here. I'll sign that. I'm very excited for you, my friend. You know what? Once you get everything settled, you need to send us a nice picture of you and your Asian Muslim wife born in the USSR. Let's see. 27 times 13 equals 28 is an Abbott and Costello skit from the movie In the Navy. I have not seen In the Navy in so long that I'm still not 100% sure, and it's going to drive, you're going to drive me freaking crazy, aren't you? So 7 times 13 equals 28 script. There we go. Okay, I vaguely remember it now. Is that like he actually uses modern, but contemporary math to try and show that 7 times 13 does in fact equal 8. Which, if I remember correctly, was actually pretty funny. But I'd have to... I can't play it because I don't want to get in trouble, unfortunately. I wonder if I could get the script for it. Let's see. If we hit this. Okay, so... Landlord says, just a minute, things been canceled. Let's see, blah, 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 blah. I gave him the money. Well, he said you gave the money. He only gave me $28. Well, that was right. I gave you more than $28. No, it's $13 a week. That's right. We were here for 7 weeks. That's right. Where's all the money? I gave him the $28. What do you mean $28? That's all the guy's got coming. Wait a minute. It's $13 a week. Yeah. I gave you 7 times 13. That's $28. I gave it to him. Don't say that. Don't say it. You didn't give the money? All I got is $28. That's right. 7 times 13 is $28. And let's see. Prove it. 7 into 2. 7 will not get into 2. No, certainly not. No matter how much you put this big 7 into the little 2, it's not going to go in there. We know that. Therefore, you don't want to hurt that little 2. What do you mean? That cute little 2, that's a cute little 2, isn't it? What are you going to do with it? I'm not going to push that big 7 into that little 2. What are you going to do with it? I'm going to push this little 2 right here. What for? Isn't it that cute little 2? Don't forget about the little 2. All right, go ahead. 7 into 8 once. All right, so now I'm going to carry the 7 because it's getting heavy. I'm going to put it right here. Now, 7 from 8. 1 a minute ago. 21. Uh-oh. And, yeah, so I'm not going to read the whole thing. But, yeah, you get the idea. It's a typical Abbott and Costello thing. They were very good at wordplay. Josh says, wow, Mike and Trigger, watching Abbott and Costello live, that would explain why there's a guy in one of the Who's on first that looks like Anti-Trigger. Jerk. Multi-Gunman, are you drinking Coke or Pepsi? Neither. That's why I'm in a good mood. I am drinking New Amsterdam Pink Lemonade Vodka. I love Michael Clark Duncan. I preferred him in the Green Line, though. Yeah, he was great, but I'm just saying, I thought as Kingpin, he was a great choice. Discovery won an Emmy, much to the disappointment and the irritation of Midnight Sludge. Yeah, I bet. I assume you mean Midnight's Edge. Midnight Sludge, that's good. But yes, you are absolutely right. Magneto's of European Jewish, he should be white. In the United Kingdom, there are black people since the 18th century. It could be interesting for Xavier. Well, and that's the thing, Alexander. If they find a black Englishman, now keep in mind, it must be English. All right? I don't care as far as his skin tone. I don't care. But if he doesn't speak with an English accent, he ain't Professor X. All right, so I agree with you, Alexander, that if they find since there have been black people in the United Kingdom for a long time, there's no problem with that as long as you're talking about the real deal, right? Now, granted, it could be an American black actor who can do an English accent. I'm fine with that. I'm just saying that Professor X needs to be English first and foremost. Michael Turd, anti-trekker. Michael Turd? What? DJ says, wrong. Danny DeVito would have been the best Kingpin. Danny DeVito, if you stack 2 of Danny DeVitos on top of each other, maybe. Oh, crap. You said the P word. Oh, did I? Oops. No one complained about Michael Clark Duncan being Kingpin. We had a problem with Daredevil being played by flaky Ben Affleck. Well, the funny thing is, I don't think Ben Affleck did a bad job in that movie. I really don't understand the hate. I don't. Just like, and here's the thing, it's same thing with Ben Affleck playing Batman. I'm sorry, and I know some of you guys are probably going to take some offense to this. I may even lose subscribers over this, but damn it, all you people that ripped on Ben Affleck for being Batman and then he quit, Why? He was the best freaking Batman on screen ever. We finally had a Batman who could act like Bruce Wayne and kick ass like Batman. We finally, for the first time, had the true Dark Knight on screen. Yes, Batman v Superman was not a great movie, but Batman was he's perfect. He was absolutely perfect. But unfortunately, we're not going to see that anymore. So yeah, that's just pisses me off. Sorry. Let's see. Let's play. Oh, okay. Thank you for that information. I will. I was like, why did that come in there? And let's see. Chrono says, do you have to work tonight? No, I did work today. And you didn't record the test? No, Thomas, I did not record the test because the test was not a live fire exercise. Thundercats Ho says, Anti-Tracker, Daredevil 2003 came out when the last Diversity Drive had just died a couple of years before. So the production might have gotten caught up with it. I might be wrong there. Oh, caught up in it. I don't know. I don't think so, to be honest with you. But here's the thing, Thundercats Ho, is that, come on. Who could you possibly pick that would be a better Kingpin physically than Michael Clark Duncan? Granted, it's sad that he's gone now, but, I mean, my God, the guy is a mountain of human flesh. He was perfect. And Kronos donates $1. Thank you so much, my friend. And wants the Hypno Turd with the vocal fry. All hail the Hypno Turd. The Hypno Turd is the best Hypno Turd ever. Because the Hypno Turd is in my brain. What is a brain? I don't really know. I could go for some cheese right now. What kind of cheese should I get? Maybe some cheddar. Or maybe just some brie. Oh, I don't know why I went on the cheese thing. Did you finish Admiral's chats? No idea what you're talking about there, Kronos. Rant time! Yay! Yeah. Thundercats says the Expanse shouldn't have been in that category since the show is still a sci-fi show. The Expanse is the only streaming show later this year. You're right. And that's the only reason that I'm not currently storming the compound of wherever the Saturn Awards is. Although then I got to ask, why was the Expanse even nominated? Wasn't humans living in low gravity the premise of the Gundam universe, Trigger? I don't know. I never watched Gundam, so could not tell you. Maybe it is. But, whatever. Sent you the skit on Discord. Thank you, Josh. I will check it out later. Night Breeze says, Abbott Costello approves 7 times 13 is 28. They added, multiplied, and divided. That's because they, unlike most Kurogans, understand math. Mr. Miles says, we need Professor X with a Jamaican accent. Oh, man, my jerk. BIRDOPREY, did I miss anything? No, not at all. Not at all. Thomas says, BIRDOPREY's Kingpin. You know, honestly, now, if you've seen, Joe is a big guy. And I don't mean big like he's a, No, he's a big, husky guy. And, like, if you've seen pictures of him before he got sick, actually, Joe would have made a great BIRDOPREY. Or great BIRDOPREY, a great Kingpin. Honestly, I think that, he's got the build for it and all that. I think he could do it. Anti-Trekker, Quicksilver will be in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. If so, cool-ish. But I really like Quicksilver from the X-Men universe so much better. And unfortunately, they crapped all over him in Dark Phoenix, which you will see. when I get to that part of the review. That, I swear, the Quicksilver sequence that I did show in the in that video I did week before last was so embarrassing. Josh says, "BIRDOPREY, you missed Antriga destroying Kuroga." Shh, don't tell him. Crap man, not Batman. Oh, you stop, Mr. Miles. He was freaking awesome. I'm sorry. You know what? I understand if you didn't like Batman v Superman because of the Doomsday plot or Lex Luthor being so weird and all that, I can certainly sympathize with that and understand that, okay? I do not think Batman v Superman was the best superhero movie ever made. That would probably be Infinity War. But I do think that Batman v Superman gave us the best Batman we have ever seen on screen, bar none. Better than Michael Keaton, better than Christian Bale, and yes, even better than George Clooney. So yes, absolutely. And so it's just a shame. Now, granted, I understand the studio crap that they pulled with Justice League. Yeah. Mr. Lundell says, I liked Affleck's Batman, but his Daredevil sucked. I actually didn't think his Daredevil sucked because, you know, Affleck did a lot of research as to how to behave when you're blind, and I think he did a pretty good job. And I don't know why people hate it so much, but yeah. DJ says, holy shit, I finally agree with Anti-Trekker for once on Batman. Holy crap, wow. Darren says, STD got an Emmy for what? Sucking? No, they got an Emmy for prosthetic makeup. Which, okay, I'll grant that the makeup artist did a fine job, but they should not honor that show with anything. Vile says, I believe Magneto and Professor X were partially based on Malcolm X and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. It would be a good way to take race swap versions of them, adding racism of being mutants to being black. No, it would not, Vile Mike, because the whole point, and you're right, okay, first of all, yes, Professor X is directly based on Martin Luther King Jr., and Magneto is directly based on Malcolm X. That being said, the whole point of them being white was to be able to show a predominantly white audience the virtues and problems with both of their positions, right? Like, it's very easy to armchair quarterback and say, well, Martin Luther King Jr. was right and Malcolm X was bad. But does being the pacifist always work out? No. Is it always the right thing to do to take the nonviolent approach? No. And sometimes Magneto was right. And that made it absolutely genius.
Hello, world.
And Wesley, thanks. Thank you so much. Throws $2 into the super chat and just says hi. Thank you, my friend. I truly, truly appreciate it. And Kronos donated $100. Holy crap.
I got him.
Holy crap. Thank you, Kronos. I truly appreciate it. And this talking about the Blazing Saddles review. Yes, the Blazing Saddles review is coming soon, my friend. In fact, I am attempting to write not one, not two, but 3 reviews simultaneously, which is a bit of a challenge, but I want to be able to get as much of this done as quickly as I can before the surgery. So that after the surgery, my plan is to get far enough ahead to where I hopefully have the Incredible Hulk and Blazing Saddles in the can so that I can keep releasing videos every day when I'm not able to record videos. So that's actually, I am in fact working on it. But thank you so much, Kronos. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. I really, really can't. Well, I could, but then everybody would think I'm gay, and I'm not, and I don't, and it gets awkward, you know. Let's see. The Midway movie will be as bad as 300, all CGL bells and whistles, no historical accuracy. Well, except that here's the difference. The 300 did not try to be historically accurate. It was not even attempting to. It was just trying to be entertaining. And I think they succeeded at that. And let's see. And Mr. Miles says, I'd rather watch Batwoman than Ben Affleck as Batman. Really, Mr. Miles? Really? Okay. You go ahead and watch Batwoman, and then you tell me that. And let's see. Where was I? Darth Maul says, Andrew, you know, if Alexander's wife is built like an Orion slave girl with Amazonian women, looks like 7 of 9, or is she built like a brick house? You know, yeah, it's so funny you should say that. First of all, I don't know, but I'm sure as long as Alexander loves her, who cares? But the reason I laugh is that earlier today, this morning I had to go to an appointment, and Mrs. Antitrekker came with me, and the song Brick House came on the stereo. And I actually had a thought that, you know, it's too bad that I keep my channel at the PG-13 level for the most part. I don't, you know, and I do that intentionally. But I really was thinking, how fun would it be to have Joshua do a super chat animation of the turd icon lusting after the Mrs. Antitrekker turd icon and playing the tune Brick House, but replace the word brick with another word for the material that makes up my avatar that happens to rhyme with brick. And how hilarious that would be. So, Alexander says, Xavier could be an English descent of older branch of the British black community. There are a lot of links to do with mutants and the situation in the X-Men. Oh, I'm not saying they couldn't do it, but I don't want them to you don't change the race of the character before you cast the actor. That's what I'm saying. You cast the best Professor Xavier that you can cast. If that actor happens to be black, I don't care. What I care about is the idea that you're going to change the race ahead of time, which means you're only doing it to score political points. So when somebody does that, I say, BIRDOPREY salute. Andy Drucker, remember when Brie Larson was on stage and she said, do I hate white guys? No. Remember how she said, no, it was funny. Yeah. Darren says, I believe you decided to do Dark Phoenix review before the Hulk pilot review. For shame. I can't believe... Well, except, Darren, I was going to do a Captain Marvel review before the Hulk pilot review. However, I simply swapped Dark Phoenix for Captain Marvel. And you know that. I know you're not too mad at me, really. Jeremy Irons worked perfectly as Alfred with Batfleck, too. I agree. Actually, Jeremy Irons is my second favorite Alfred. My favorite Alfred is Pertwee on Gotham. I actually really liked him as Alfred. That he was the absolute best part of that show. And it's the his Alfred was absolutely dead on. Jeremy Irons is a close second because Alfred is supposed to be A, elderly, B, a former badass, and C, you're supposed to believe he was a former badass. Now, did Michael Caine make a good Alfred? Yes. I enjoyed Michael Caine's Alfred. And I wish I could remember the name of the actor that played Alfred in the four Tim Burton-verse Batman films. He was great as Alfred. He had the attitude, right? The snarkiness that Alfred is supposed to have. Alfred is the one person who will talk to Bruce Wayne like Bruce Wayne is a freaking idiot. Right? But nobody else will because he's also a billionaire. Alfred will tell him what's up. However, I do not believe Michael Caine or the guy that played Alfred in the Tim Burton films was a badass before he became Alfred. I just don't. Michael Caine I could believe a little more than the guy that was in the Tim Burton films, but neither of them do I believe were a badass. Same thing with the Alfred from the 60s. As much as he was fine as in the character, in the role of Alfred, although he wasn't snarky, he was just a good butler. However, Jeremy Irons and Pertwee, I can never remember his first name because I always try to think of Doctor Who, but I know it's his son. Both of them were freaking awesome as Alfred, but Pertwee takes the cake. He was the best. Adam West was the best Batman. Well, Mr. Miles, he was the funniest. I'll give you that. And I'm sorry, Tentacle and Mr. Miles, you guys can... That's fine if you don't take Batman seriously. If you want Batman to just be a joke, then sure. Excuse me. Oh, man. Darren says, Antrick, I agree with Batman v Superman, Batman being the best. He was basically a distillation of all the best aspects of previous versions. Agree. And here's the thing, like, because I told you, it's funny that Batman came up today. Because me and Mrs. Antitrekker, I've said this before, have been re-watching all the Batman films. And we just finished the Dark Knight trilogy. So we watched all 4 of the Tim Burton films, and now we've watched all 3 of the Dark Knight trilogy. The only Batman movies we have left are Batman v Superman, technically Suicide Squad, but we may or may not watch that one, and Justice League. And I have been, I gotta say, I really, really liked Michael Keaton's Batman. Michael Keaton's Bruce Wayne. He was absolutely perfect as Bruce Wayne. It was a different take on Bruce Wayne, but I really enjoyed it. His Batman, I didn't buy. I did not buy. And Kronos donates another $50, because I'm not kidding. It will happen, Kronos. I promise you, my friend. And thank you. And now you're going to make me push the production schedule ahead of time. I will, but because you're being too kind, I will push it as fast as I can. But let me finish my tirade about Batman real quick. So, Michael Keaton was great Bruce Wayne. Yeah, okay as Batman. Now, Val Kilmer, and I know a lot of people rag on Val Kilmer and George Clooney, but Val Kilmer was actually, I liked him as Batman. Did not care for his Bruce Wayne. Now, granted, the movie could have been a whole lot better, but as far as Val himself, I think that as Batman, he was a good fit. As Bruce Wayne, he was not. George Clooney was crap. All the way. He phoned it in. He admitted it. It sucked. Everybody knows it. Then we get to Christian Bale. Christian Bale's the Batman that people think is perfect in every way. There are still people out there that genuinely believe The Dark Knight is the best superhero film ever made, which I think that those people are freaking idiots. And I may do a video about that one day, but I don't want to lose all my subscribers. However, Christian Bale played a pitch perfect Bruce Wayne. I really liked his Bruce Wayne. When he was on screen as Bruce Wayne, I was like, that is Bruce Wayne. He sucked as Batman. Besides the gravelly voice, that was dumb and pointless, but besides the gravelly voice, he physically simply was not up to the part. You could tell that half of his bulk was just the body armor, because when he wasn't wearing the bat suit, he was a small guy. He didn't, and every single fight scene in the Dark Knight trilogy looks like a staged fight. It doesn't look brutal. It doesn't look like Batman could really kick ass. And it looks like Batman without his gadgets is nothing. Batman is supposed to be the greatest martial artist on the planet. I just didn't buy it. Ben Affleck nailed both. He's the first actor, in my opinion, that nailed Batman and Bruce Wayne. And that's why I liked him. Thomas said, oh, geez, and then there goes the chat. Hold on. Where was I? Wasn't X-Men 3 in a different timeline? Could that explain the changes in the Jean Grey story? That's the problem. And I'll probably get into this later on in the Dark Phoenix review. But no, it's not a different timeline. Well, it kind of is, kind of isn't. I mean, you could argue it was a different timeline, and that timeline was kind of wiped out by Wolverine's time travel thing in Days of Future Past, except, all right, and here's the thing. Jean Grey is still Jean Grey. She still would have been born in the same year. Keep in mind that in 1973, Jean Grey, according to the credits of this movie, that was an 8-year-old Jean Grey. That means that Jean Grey was born in 1965. 1965, Jean Grey was born. Wolverine did not travel back that far in time. So up until Wolverine's interfering in the timeline, they're the same. So there is no excuse for Jean Grey to age to 16 and then de-age back to 8 and then age to 20. So that's why I laugh hysterically at the idea that this timeline makes any kind of sense, because it doesn't. Because just because Jean Grey, the timeline, like the Sentinels were prevented from happening, that happened in the 70s. as did Jean murdering her parents, which apparently didn't happen in the new timeline. And that doesn't, and so, or in the Sentinel timeline. And in fact, let's see, when did Days of Future Past take place? And yeah, Days of Future Past, the movie, took place in 1973. Jean Grey supposedly murdered her parents in 1975, right? So, you know, and the thing is, so would the events of Days of Future Past prevent Jean, who had never met any of the X-Men, had no direct interaction with any of the X-Men until 1975, would that have prevented her from killing her parents? But even if you argue that because of the changes in the timeline she didn't kill her parents, fine. But she would not be younger in the other timeline. Saw your Dark Phoenix review 12 hours after upload. Haven't gotten the notification at all. Of course not. YouTube hates me. But thank you for watching it, Darth Maul. I truly appreciate it. Commander Sutter says, enter. I went and saw Angel has fallen on Friday, and holy crap, was awesome. Back to bad movies. Is the Dark Phoenix a continuation of Days of Future Past or a complete reboot? I get confused. Well, it's a sequel to X-Men Apocalypse. Kind of. But we're going to get to that when we... Oh, geez. When we get to Phoenix gaining her Phoenix powers, I'm going to be showing some clips from X-Men Apocalypse that's going to make your head hurt. But, yeah, the timeline for X-Men, Fox X-Men, is just a complete cluster fudge. And instead of fudge, use a word for copulation. Wesley, there's his $2 super chat, says hi. Thank you, Wes. I truly appreciate it. And by the way, Wes, no hard feelings for me about what happened. I just... you know, I had to point out that there were some people on the server that were really, really unhappy about what happened. I do not hold a grudge against you. It's all water under the bridge. Don't think of it as like, oh my God, I hurt Andy Trigger's feelings. No, I'm fine. All right. But it did hurt some people as far as some of the things. We can talk about it one of these times, but yeah. Night Priest, when is episode 2 of Feces and Lorehead? Working on writing the script for it right now, so hopefully in a couple of weeks. And let's see. STD gets an Emmy for slapping latex on people. What's the world coming to? Well, come on, that's par for the course. Black Kingpin worked. His skin tone wasn't his defining part of his character, but being a Holocaust survivor is an integral part of Magneto. You're right about that. Life with Magneto. Life with Magneto. Life with Matthew. And Joshua, thank you. Joshua, Scarved Insect, was sent me a text message a minute ago and said that it was Sean Pertwee. Thank you, my wonderful son. I appreciate that. So yes, Sean Pertwee. And Auntie has no head, she says. Well, Auntie does now. She probably moved. Anyway, but yeah, episode 2, Feces and Lorehead, is in the writing phase right now. And you know, we're a small production company, so we don't get stuff out like as quickly as real companies. Wesley says, hello everyone, I want to apologize to some of you on a server. I used some abilities as admin in unfair ways. Well, it seems first time making a Stargate, and I killed another player by accident. Didn't know the Stargate made near their base would affect yours in any way. I do feel I owe Thomas and Chris an apology for the trouble I had today. Thank you. I do appreciate that, Wesley. It was not necessary, but I do appreciate it. And I'm sure Wesley and Chris will find it in their hearts to forgive you. But they were just really, really upset over some of the stuff that you did. And so I just killed all the bots. I understand. You sure did, Kronos. And thank you, my friend. Mr. Rouse says, have you thought about doing live premieres for your videos? I have, and I may for tomorrow's video. In fact, well, the problem is I can't set a time right now because tomorrow morning I have to go in to the Ford dealership bright and early because my truck has been sitting there and Ford needs me to sign a waiver so that they can give the estimate to the insurance people. So, yeah, I got to do that tomorrow morning. However, what I'll probably do, Mr. Miles, is as soon as I get home, I'll set a premiere like for maybe a half an hour later, assuming I have enough time before work, and then we'll watch it together. But yes, I have considered that. Nightbreed says, I never considered Magneto as evil. He watched his family be killed because they were Jews, and then the same thing happened to mutants. He was trying to protect the best he could. Absolutely, and that's what makes him a great character. And in fact, and I truly, assuming Marvel does not go woke, I truly hope and pray they do this, is they need to do Secret Wars. Not the modern Secret Wars crap, but the Secret Wars from the 80s, where the Beyonder kidnaps all the heroes and all the villains and forces them to fight each other. It's a great story. A simple story, but great story. And part of the problem that the heroes had in the first issue of Secret Wars is when the Beyonder put all the villains in this one building and all the heroes in this other building, and along with the heroes, he threw Magneto.
Hello, world.
And Alexander throws $2 more, says, I want Colossus from the Deadpool in the MCU. You know what, Alexander? I know you're Batwoman crazy, but you are 100% right. That Colossus needs to be the Colossus. That is freaking Colossus. They nailed him in the Deadpool movies. Couldn't get him right in the X-Men movies, but they sure as heck got him in the Deadpool movies. In the old Hulk Daredevil crossover, John Rhys Davis played Kingpin, and I thought he made a good Kingpin. You know what? It's funny, because Trial of the Incredible Hulk is one of the few episodes of Incredible Hulk I've not yet seen. What season of SG1 did you stop? Well, I haven't stopped. I just have it suspended right now because of the back situation. But I think I'm in season 7 right now. Chrono says Batwoman. Yay. People forget that 300 was a comic book movie. It's meant to look and feel like a Frank Miller story. In that sense, it was very accurate. Yeah, it was right out. In fact, 300 was a almost frame-by-frame recreation of the comic book. It was really well done. I believe the old Spider-Man 90s cartoon Kingpin was a white guy voiced by a black guy, but I could be wrong. I think you're right. Orville Nation says, hey, how you doing, Orville? Hope you are having a good day. Make your brick house video age restricted. I would have to if I did. Rhymes with brick. What word for feces rhymes with brick? Well, it doesn't exactly rhyme, Darren. Don't get pedantic, jerk. Let's see. I would love to see you make a review done properly of BS's without any blackouts. I know, Kronos, but you got to live within the system. It just sucks. Vile Mike says, actually, I don't know if I would want to compare my female partner to an outhouse. Well, I know, but it would just be funny. Darth Ball says, yeah, that brick house super chat would be golden. It would, but it would get me in trouble, so I'm not going to. I like Sean Pertwee's Alfred shows him as semi-badass. He absolutely does. He absolutely does. And I love him as Alfred. Ben Affleck as Batman killed off the Bruce Wayne. He didn't play Bruce Wayne as Batman. He played himself as Batman. Well, Mr. Miles, agree to disagree, my friend. Fun fact, listen to Michael Caine say his own name. Sounds like Michael Caine. You know, you're absolutely right. That's funny, Captain. I never noticed that. And welcome, Captain Redneck. Hector says, yep, very bad Bruce Wayne. I agree with Miles. Well, I don't. So, suck on that. DJ says, holy crap, Auntie agreed with me this time. Yes, that's true. We actually agreed. Michael Gow was the Alfred in the Burton Schumacher films. Thank you, Darren. I couldn't remember his name, but yeah, he was really good. Don't get me wrong. There are a few iterations of Alfred from the comic books, as you well know. But obviously, I prefer the Alfred that was a former British Special Forces and stuff, and you know he was a big part of Batman's training. Mr. Miles says it's like how Deadpool and Iron Man's actors were basically playing themselves, except they were perfect for it. I don't think Ben Affleck acting like Ben Affleck is a good Bruce Wayne. Well, that's where I think we disagree, Mr. Miles. I think he did a great job as Bruce Wayne. And Josh says Tim Burton's Alfred was Michael Gow. Again, thank you. Michael Keaton is a great actor, but I don't think he was a good pick for Batman. Well, here's the thing. He was great as Bruce Wayne, like I said. But I did like... I think for Batman, he physically couldn't pull it off. He tried, But come on, Michael Keaton's what, like 5'9" or something, and just is not an imposing guy. He did his very best, and I was one of those people that was ready to riot in the streets when they announced that Michael Keaton was going to play the part. And then I saw the movie, and I was like, holy crap, this is actually really good. However, looking now at a variety of actors playing the Dark Knight, I think that that Affleck did the best. I have to go with Bale's Batman, says Mr. Lundell, as the best. I think Bale's character really showed us the mental baggage Wayne had to deal with and how well he channeled it. Except that I think that if you break it down, no. Because he broke, think about it. How many villains did Batman, the Bale Batman defeat? 2. That's it. So, Ra's al Ghul and the Joker. Then he ended up on hiatus for 8 years because he was broken. And it wasn't just the mental baggage, he was physically broken after beating 2 villains. I'm not counting Two-Face because technically he didn't really beat Two-Face. Surf says, entry, your animations on ME were hella funny. You had a cartoon for everything they talked about. Oh, yeah, on Midnight Suns. Yeah, that was funny. That was really funny. Just a coincidence, of course, but that was really great. Orville's Super Chat's not working well. Dang it. Go to Streamlabs. You could donate that way if you want to, or it's all right. I'm not going to hold it against you if you don't. Batfleck was not a bad Batman, but not a good was Bruce Wayne. Keaton was a good Bruce Wayne, but an average Batman. Bale was a good Batman, but a bad Bruce Wayne. Less said about Val and George, the better. Now they're whores wanting monies. Huh? Well, of course, everybody wants money. Please fix the anti-can. Oh, well, let me see. There. I know that was a long time ago that you said that, but that's the best I can do. You're wrong for enjoying movies you like. Anti-Trekker 2019. I did not say that. At least I hope I didn't. If I did, I recant. Blank Man is best superhero film. I don't think I've even seen that one. Chrono says, this is where I say you all rock and I'm drunk. Well, are you drunk? If so, I hope you don't remember what you did. And then you can do it again. Agree with you on the Batman Bruce Wayne opinions, with the exception to Ben Affleck. I'd add he channeled some of the animated series character too. I could see that, yeah. Star Wars solo TV series would be Crimson Dawn spinoff on Disney Plus. I don't think they're going to do a solo TV series. I really don't. Bale was over 6'1", so he wasn't short. I didn't say Bale was short. I said Keaton was short. Or if I did say Bale, I meant Keaton. Ledger's Joker stays amazing for me. I was so glad when he left the cinema in 2008 after that movie. Not me. And don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Heath Ledger's Joker was horrifically bad or anything. I'm certainly not a detractor of The Dark Knight. However, that was not the Joker. That was no more the Joker to me than this upcoming Joker film looks like the Joker to me. It's a guy dressed as a clown, but it's not the Joker. I think I checked out of the X-Men films completely when they basically made Sabretooth and Victor Creed 2 separate characters. Yeah, Sabretooth is definitely a mess. That's for sure. Luke says, entry. So basically you're saying First Class verse follows JJ Trek logic, pretending it's a new timeline, but things are already changed prior to the time jump. Exactly. There are some serious problems there. Clearly, Days of Future Past subscribes to the Flashpoint theory of time travel, previous events where time travel affects events prior to the date you travel to, which makes no sense. Could Days of Future Past be like the JJ timeline where the Kelvin was destroyed and split? It could, but only from 1973 onward. That's the problem. Jean Grey was already born, so her birth date would not have changed because Wolverine went back in time. She was born in 1965. Basically, you're saying the X-Men movie timelines are as bad as the actual comic book 616 timeline. Yeah, I'll tell you, the comic book timelines got really messed up. Fortunately, during the time that I was reading heavily, it wasn't so messed up. Sci-Fi Sits asks once again, what season of Stargate did you stop watching? I already answered that, but I believe season 7. Let's see. Test with me. I'll go to Andy Trigger's last video, the first 47 Phoenix review. I'll leave a comment. Let me know if you see it. I'm not sure what you're talking about, so I must have missed something there. And let me keep going here. Wow, I just completely hold on, the chat screwed up on me. There we go. All right, so Wesley says Life with Magneto sounds like an awesome name. Life with Magneto. Is that a TV show now? Coming soon to the WB. Thomas says, you call me Wesley. That's an election canceled. Coup has started. Sorry, Thomas, if I called you Wesley. That was a slip of the tongue, my friend. Darren says, Antricker, Marvel has basically retconned all characters with origins from World War II and Vietnam. The new conflict they were involved with fictional on the Sine Kong conflict. Well, that may be, and that sounds stupid. And let me see. BIRDOPREY just posted on the Space Engineers chat that the server was having a problem. But I'll tell you, Bird, just so you know, if you're watching this, on my end, the server is running at a little bit better speed than it was yesterday. So I don't know what's going on there. It might be on your computer. And there's Alexander's chat saying that he wants Colossus from Deadpool in the MCU. For once, we truly agree 100%. And let's see. Loquetius is in the house. Good to see you, Loquetius. How's Magneto going to be a Holocaust survivor and not be very old? Or will the movie be set 20 to 30 years ago? Actually, Dark Phoenix takes place in 1992. So Magneto could still be middle-aged. But yeah, they're kind of pushing it right now as far as the ages of some of these people. Darren says, ahem, Trial of the Incredible Hulk was not an episode of the show. I know. It was part of the NBC's bastardized series of TV movies designed as stealth pilots for new Marvel shows. I understand. I know. But you know what I'm saying. I didn't see that made-for-TV movie. And Mr. Miles says, okay, let's split up the room into the people that like Affleck as Batman and the ones that didn't. Then we can hand out sharp sticks. Oh, so you're going to go with the Heath Ledger solution. Edgar, all this talk about brick reminds me that you were in Futurama a few times when Bender dropped a brick. Yes. I do love the shots of Bender dropping a brick. Those are particularly funny. And by the way, Bird, if you are listening, if this problem with the server continues, I will restart the server. Just let me know, please. But it shows there's 4 people in the game right now, and the server is running at like 60. So it should be working. Batman lost the argument, but won the physical fight against the Joker. Not really, actually. Batman won even the philosophical fight with the Joker as far as the people of Gotham. He lost that against Bane, but he did win that against Joker. However, the Joker's backup plan was to corrupt Harvey Dent, and the Joker won in that case. I'd like to see if you can get away with editing scenes without getting blanked out like you did in Galaxy Quest. Well, we'll find out. Darren says, hey, Trigger, ordinarily I hate it when writers have Batman still obsessing over his parents far from into adulthood, but I actually thought the Martha moment in Batman v Superman was pretty good. I do too, and that's something, I know a lot of people really got pissed off about the Martha thing. But you know what? Maybe it's, and Darren, I think you and I can appreciate this because we're both comic book nerds. When Bruce said, why did you say that name? It hit me like a ton of bricks at that moment that I'd never, ever stopped to consider that Bruce and Clark's mothers were both named Martha. I never thought about it until that moment. But they've always both been named Martha. Blank Man, a.k.a. Batman without the physical skills or money. Oh, so it's me. Andy, did you rescue your dog from an abusive owner? You know, I don't know. We did rescue Auntie, but obviously we never met Auntie's prior owners. But we do get the feeling that she was abused because she is extremely submissive. to the point where, like, if you walk up to her and you hold your hand in front of her, she will, lie down and put her head down like she's just expecting you to punch her. And so, yeah. Mr. Miles says 10 seconds, not sure why. I remembered Anti-Checker. Grr. Okay, Kronos, what did you remember? I dislike most cinematic Jokers because they really don't care for the Joker as a character. My favorite Batman villain is the ventriloquist. Actually, my favorite Batman villain from the comics was Ra's al Ghul. And when I saw Ra's al Ghul in Batman Begins, that made that movie awesome for me more than Batman himself. And Jim's saying there's a CPU bottleneck. Let's see. Just a second. And let me see. Bale's Batman took out 3 villains: Ra's al Ghul, Joker, and Bane. Well, I meant before Batman, The Dark Knight Rises. Because what I mean is, he took out Ra's al Ghul and Joker, and then was off work, but for 8 years recovering after beating up 2 guys. And really neither of which was a particular physical threat to him. Commander Sutter says, could the events of Days of Future Past explain why the president has an X phone next to his Xbox? The X-Men, take that, SJWs, save the president, so why wouldn't they have a relationship? Except that Days of Future Past took place back in the 70s. Then you had X-Men Apocalypse that took place in the 80s, and people hated mutants again, and Magneto tried to destroy the world. But then by the 90s, for some reason, not only does the President of the United States have an X-phone on his desk, they gave Magneto an island!
Hello, world.
And thank you, Alexander. But, and I'm sorry, spoiler alert, when I get to it, I'm going to explode. But they literally, the federal government of the United States, after Magneto tried to destroy the world, gave the man an island. Darren says, I can understand the conflict idea as a surrogate for Vietnam, since Punisher would be about 73 years old at this point, but not for World War II. Yeah. Or, you know what? How about just throw him in the Gulf War if you're going to reboot? And Kronos says, that sounds drunk to me for some reason. Antrigger Fox says that all the timelines coexist and Wolverine just created a branched off timeline. Well, it doesn't matter, Daniel. It still doesn't work. Bird is jealous of what? Now that they have an X-phone, will they be seeing X-polls? Probably not. I'm not that drunk. All right. Epic says, the Space Engineer service seems okay to me. Yeah, that's weird. Are you sure? I mean, Bird, are you the only person having this problem? Because you may be the only person having this problem. Try shutting down and restarting your computer, and if that doesn't clear it, Bird, I will restart the server if I have to, but let me know. I don't know if Bird, if you can even hear me, because you haven't responded to anything I've said, but we'll find out. Wow, who punches dogs? Lots of people, unfortunately. There are people that abuse animals, and those people are sick people that don't deserve to be on this planet. Because look at this dog. Look at Auntie. She is the sweetest thing. Now, yeah, she's a dog, so, she's going to get into trouble every now and then, chew up some stuff. That's why she has a leash on her right now, is to prevent her from getting into trouble. But I would never hurt her. She's a sweet, wonderful, caring dog that is a great companion for me, and she sits up here all day with me. Night Breeze throws in another puck, wants to see number 23. You got it, Night Breeze. We will get that going right now for you, my friend. And I saw you said there, Bird, in the Space Engineers chat that you're going to try to force close your game. All right. See if you restart it, see if that clears it. If that doesn't, try restarting your computer. If that doesn't clear it, I will restart the server. I'll try to keep an eye on the Space Engineers chat to know what's going on there if you don't want to put it in this chat, because obviously I'm way behind anyway. Kronos doesn't rant while drunk. Good idea. Xavier finally caved and used his power to mind control the president. Why is that so hard to believe? Well, if that were in the movie, sure. But that's not in the movie. Kronos says, congrats, you have 62 viewers. Very cool. I did not realize that because I don't have the live stream up because I have like 17 other things up on the screen. But very cool. And actually, I only have 54 right now, but still very cool. Wesley says, I wish I was drunk. Me too. Mr. Londell says, Gabe Magneto and Island, huh? Thank you for giving a damn good reason not to support this movie with my heart. Yeah, I tell you. There are some things about the movie. There are moments of awesomeness in the movie. And there are some things in the movie that I was like, oh, okay, that could be interesting. But overall, this movie is just yeah, it starts out strong, and then it goes downhill really quick. I mean, like Last Jedi level bad. Let's see. Daniel says, I gave you something interesting you may like on Skype. I saw that, Daniel, so I can't look at it while I'm doing a show, but I will check it out. Chrono says, why? Only 32 likes, because, hitting that like button is such a trying, difficult thing for most people to do. That's why. Darren says, personally, my fix for the Punisher age thing would be to have be the recipient of the same age retarding serum that Nick Fury got, albeit surreptitiously. Sorry, man, got my dyslexia going on overdrive right now. I could see doing something like that, and hear me out here, Darren, and I know this sounds radical and crazy and insane, let the characters get old and replace them. How about that? How about you actually let characters get old and die? That would actually add a layer of realism to the Marvel Universe. It would be interesting. And what happens with the next generation? Bird is having 200 millisecond lag. Welcome to my world, Bird. Kronos says, Auntie is semi-dead. No, she's just in her normal hibernation state. And sorry, 300 milliseconds. Wow, that's ugly. And let me go make sure the Skype screen's up. Let's see. I'm down. I'll see the server bouncing between 0.4 and 0.65. Yeah, that's weird. Darren says, Auntie has a special treat coming soon. Oh, she will love that. And I will definitely let her try it on the show. And okay, Bird says, seems to be okay after the restart. So it could be there was a bottleneck on your computer somewhere. Which chat is the data laughing? Oh, gosh. I know that BIRDOPREY put a list of the chats on antitracker.com. I don't know them off the top of my head. But if you find out, then somebody will tell you. Daniel says, "Aw, be nice to Discovery." Sorry, Daniel. You know what, Daniel? I love you, but I don't love Discovery, and I'm not going to lie just because I love you. That just saying. And that's the thing. If I care about you, I'm not going to lie to you. And the fact is, I don't like Discovery one bit. Now, I don't dislike you for liking Discovery, Daniel. I really don't. You absolutely have the right to like it. However, I personally find Discovery to be an affront to what the original series of Star Trek stood for. Mr. Miles says there's a difference between abuse and negative reinforcement. That is very true. But as far as the way that Auntie behaves, she behaves like a dog that was abused. And so, fortunately, she's only now just starting to get more comfortable with us. And that's a good thing, but it's still, I think she's got a ways to go. Should I buy Dark Phoenix or give BIRDOPREY the $20 instead? Ooh, that's a tough one, because on the one hand, if you give BIRDOPREY the $20, you're feeding our enemies. However, if you buy Dark Phoenix, you're probably going to want to watch it. So I would have to say give the money to Bird, but I would prefer that you give it to me. People aren't hitting the like button because he's praising Affleck as crapping on Dark Knight. Yeah, that's probably right. Chrono says, you need Mrs. Antrigger to make a request. Okay, what do you need me to request of her? Or have her request of me? It was dumb enough when they had mutants at the Bay of Pigs incident. Now Magneto has his own island. He absolutely does. He does. Yep. Sorry for putting your dyslexia to test back there. That's all right, Darren. It happens. Sometimes I get a word that I just can't read. That was one of those moments. Enter a dog and other animals are like child, innocent. Those who abuse them should be down like violent dogs, or their punishment should be what they did to their victims. I kind of agree with you, Commander Cheddar. People that abuse dogs and other animals are sick individuals that need help. And if they don't want the help, then they need to be put down. I actually like Punisher 2099 better than Frank Castle. I've never read Punisher 2099. Chrono said, yes, we all die. What? You confused me now, Kronos. You need to keep Punisher to stay young, have him turn into a vampire through Doctor Strange killed them all. Did Doctor Strange kill the vampires? I didn't know that. And Alexander says, even a 123-year-old Punisher will be unbeatable. Well, here's the thing. You have two options. You can reboot the universe every generation, or you can have them age, or you can just pretend they don't age. I don't care which. But honestly, I think that I would probably go with the reboot option, except reboot it correctly. And check it, they will make 007 James Bond a code name soon. That'll mean the old James Bond movies could possibly return. The old James Bond could possibly return. I hope we see Sean Connery return in the Bond movie. We're never going to see Sean Connery. Sorry, Daniel. I know. I get your enthusiasm, Daniel, and I would love to see Sean Connery return as an elder James Bond. It will never happen. Sean Connery has been retired for some time, and he is not interested in ending his retirement. Why? And why would he? He's living on a freaking island that he owns in the Bahamas. Yeah. Why not include a link to the Super Chats list for your live website in the video description? I should probably do that. Chrono says, why do you put your videos on hidden or whatever it's called? It's called unlisted, and I do that to try and help the algorithm problem. Basically, if you do live streams like I do, then if people go and watch the live streams after they've been aired, but they don't watch the whole thing, it truly hurts your standing with YouTube. It's stupid, but that's what they do. Superchat 15 is I make YouTube go. That's the one. Thank you, Bird. Don't you already say you love STD in the Redneck chat? Well, that was a joke. Is X-Men going to Disney Plus or wait? I'll wait. If so, I'll wait till then to see it. I don't know if this particular movie will be on Disney Plus. I would imagine it will, but it still sucks. I'm too drunk to say this. I think Mrs. Antrigger needs to show herself very soon. Very soon. I don't think she will, Kronos, but you are too drunk to say that. Bird needs to be put down. His abuse of alpacas is uncalled for. Agreed. He absolutely needs to stop abusing alpacas. And people that abuse alpacas are sick and twisted individuals. Did you see the picture of you from Space Engineers? Oh, no, Thomas. Thank you. I forgot about that. I know that you were saying how funny it was. So let me go to... That is funny. Yeah, okay. So let me grab this picture, move it over to the other monitor so that I can show it to you guys. So this is a picture of me that Thomas took in Space Engineers today. There we go. So that is me kneeling and contemplating how were we going to defeat Kuroga. And then we came up with a brilliant plan. So yes, and so yeah, that plan is being enacted even as we speak. Back in the early 80s, when Marvel officially ended their 70s horror line, Doctor Strange performed a spell called the Montressy Formula that destroyed all vampires on Earth forever. I did not know that, Darren. Thank you. Chrono says algorithm. Yes, Mr. Mouse says, after Spider-Man, Sony and Marvel, out of curiosity, because Marvel makes all the money from merchandise, wouldn't they still profit if they help Sony make a good Spider-Man movie? Yes, but that doesn't, but Sony does, it's not, you know, don't think that Marvel is trying to push crazy, unreasonable demands on Sony. Sony doesn't want this to work. Sony seems to think that for whatever reason, they can pull a fast one on Marvel. But yeah. Chrono says, holy smokes, 66 watchers. Well, I only show 43, to be honest. I don't know what's going on, because I know I'm caught up on the chat, and that was only a minute ago. So did 20 people suddenly stop watching, or are we looking at very different numbers? Best line in a Bond movie, Spectre, played by Donald Pleasant, says, you only live twice, Mr. Bond. Yes. That's a good one. Although I still like, no, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die. Someone said it, make YouTube go. It was 15 or 16. Can I have that at the end of the stream? You can, Wesley. You can. Why not include a link to the Super Chats list on the website in the video description? I think I already read you saying that a minute ago, and yes, I should probably do that. Darren says, of course, Strange's anti-vampire spell only lasted about 10 years. Of course. BIRDOPREY says, it looked a lot like Earth. Turds, Jabe, no business. Turds, Jabe, no business on Urja. Wow. And so now Cronus says 65, Josh says 65, Wesley says 65, now a few people saying 67, Gary says 66. That's bizarre, because let me see if I can get this over here. So this is my live feed right here, and he says shows 43 watching, which is really, really bizarre. Let me see if I go to view on watch page, and it says 66. Look at that. So it says 66 on the watch page, but it says 43 on my stream page. That's just ridiculously stupid. Wow. And now it's at 67. That is just weird. I don't get it. YouTube. Gotta love it. Let's see. CFA, Karoga fried alpaca is very tasty. That's just wrong. But true. My favorite Bond film villain line was Odd Job's "Arg" when he died. I repeated it because you didn't read it, so I thought you missed it, and you read it the second time. Your memory is starting to go, hey, no, I'm old. Maybe Timothy Dalton can return in a future Bond movie, most certainly Pierce Brosnan. Well, yeah, I could see Timothy Dalton, Pierce Brosnan appearing. Roger Moore, that ain't going to happen. Sean Connery, obviously, that ain't going to happen. So, yeah. All right, so with that, I do need to wrap it up. However, I'm going to do two things here. First and foremost, as usual, here you go, Alexander.
The board vessel's moving into range.
On screen.
Let's get lost in that magic place all alone now. Drink a fill from my fountain of love, wet your lips. I'm a man, I'm a teaser, I'm a man, well I'm a virgin, I'm a man, I'm a one-night stand, a man, I'm a man, I'm a man, I'm a dream, I'm a dream divine, make love together.
He's dead.
Ah, yes, the The classic pain. Alexander wants to know, will my picture wife be in the restaurant? In fact, it will. We were talking about that just today, Alexander. So that's something that we are working on. And yes, by the way, Thomas, I have no idea how you turn on and off the subtitles. Somehow they came on this. I think there's an option to turn them on and off on the viewer, but I don't mess around with it much. Are you allowed to have a piece of white bread with pleasant butter in your diet? If you mean peanut butter, I could have the peanut butter. I could not have the white bread, although I've cheated the last couple of days, to be honest. However, Mrs. Antricker has allowed it, so that's okay, because she's the boss on that diet. All right, and so with that, I am going to wrap it up, but one more thing before I go, because, you know, I love you, Wes.
Sir, we are being hailed.
On screen. What is your problem?
I am Lore.
Do you need help?
I have a YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is Lore Reloaded.
Let me guess, their rubber band broke, right?
I make YouTube go.
And there is that. Oh, yeah, and thank you, Darren. I should have said this earlier, but yes, Darren, you should check out Darren Wagner's YouTube channel. He is... I'm really frustrated because I keep finding people that have less subscribers than me and talking about them, and then they eventually have more subscribers than me. It happened with Doomcock, it happened with Nerdotic, it happened with Mecha, and now I foresee that it's going to happen with Darren Wagner. Darren put out a really, really solid video about the Incredible Hulk. You should check it out on his channel. So Darren Wagner in the chat, you see his name there. Click on the little 3 dots next to his name and go to channel and watch that video. You will not regret it, I promise you. Unfortunately, it's better than most of my videos. I hate you, Darren. We meet Mrs. Antricker in the throne room, and Thomas needs his T's in his last name. I know, Thomas, I know. All right, guys. So with that, I am going to wrap it up. Thank you all for being the best damn crowd of people on YouTube. You know I mean that, and you know I appreciate everything you guys do for me. And yes, Kronos, I will get that Blazing Saddles review done just as quick as I can. You know I got a couple things to do, but that is definitely not going anywhere, my friend. So, and besides that, that one will actually be a lot of fun to do compared to some of the other stuff. And Kronos says, I checked out Wagner's stuff and such. Yeah, it's really good. And I'm not kidding around when I say it is really good. And I do honestly think that if you can produce stuff to that level on a regular basis, no, your channel's going to grow, my friend. Your channel is going to grow. You may be less than 100 subs right now, but that ain't going to last. Just saying. And Sci-Fi Sith is repeating his live long and prosper because he's like, all right, get out, get out, get out. And Mike Ridge said, farewell from Columbus, Ohio. Thank you, Mike. Take care, all. Have a wonderful... well, whatever the hell it is.